Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everybody, my name is Devia Maulidia and today we are reading the book Robin Hood. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Robin Fitzooth is born in Sherwood Forest. The story begins with Robin Hood's Saxon grandfather, Sir George Cromwell. Cromwell lived near a Norman lord. This lord wanted to take Cromwell's house and his lands. The two men fought, and the Norman lord killed Cromwell's two sons. Cromwell's wife also died. But Sir George also had a young daughter, Joanna. "I have no sons," Cromwell said to Joanna, "so I will teach you to fight with a sword and with a bow and arrow." 5 years later, Joanna was 19 years old and very beautiful. One day, a young man visited Sir George. His name was William Fitzooth, and he was a Norman. "Sir George," he began, "I love your daughter. I hope that she loves me. I would like to marry her. I have money and land." But Sir George was very angry. "Never," he answered. "My daughter will never marry you. Get off my land. Do not come here again or I will kill you." Joanna loved this young man, so she tried to talk to her father, but didn't want to listen. "Go to your room," he shouted. "I do not want to hear that man's name again." That night, William came back to Sir George's home. He stood under Joanna's window and called to her. Joanna took some clothes and came quickly out of the house. William took her hand. "Will you come with me and marry me?" he asked. "We cannot live in my home because your father's men will look for you there, so we will live in the Green Forest." "I'm sorry for my father," Joanna said sadly, "but I love you. I know you are a good man. I will marry you." In the morning, Sir George woke late. He called to his men, "Where is my daughter? I want to speak to her." But Joanna was not here in the house. Sir George was very angry, then very sad. "I have no family now," he thought. On a fine day in April, a year later, a man came to the house. "Your doctor sent me here," he said. "She wants you to come and see her." Sir George followed the man to the middle of Sherwood Forest. There, in the spring sunshine, he saw his daughter. He also saw a baby boy in her arms. Joanna looked up at her father and smiled. "This is Robin, your grandson," she said. She gave the baby to her father. Sir George wanted to be angry, but he was very happy with his grandson in his arms. "Robin, is that your name?" he said. "Well, little Robin, I want to kill your father, but that is not possible now. Please, doctor, come with your husband and live near me. Let's forget the past." "We will come and live near you, father," said Joanna. "But I will often bring my son to the forest. I will teach him to find his way in the forest in the day and at night. He will learn to make arrows for his bow and to catch forest animals. He will make a fire and cook the meat. The forest will always be his second home." Chapter 2. The Sheriff of Nottingham finds Robin Hood. Robin's grandfather died, then his mother and father. After 25 years, Robin was Lord of Gamewell and Locksley, and lived in his father's home, Locksley House. The village people liked Robin Fitzooth. "He is a good man," they said. "No man, woman, or child is hungry on Robin of Locksley land." Not all lords were so kind. The worst person was the greedy sheriff of Nottingham. The sheriff took everything from the villagers, and often these poor people were very hungry. Robin listened carefully to the stories about the sheriff. He sent food and clothes to the poorest families. At about this time, people began to tell stories about a robber. They called him Robin Hood. "The sheriff is a hard man," they said. "He and his rich friend take everything from us. But no, brave Robin Hood and his men rob rich people and give their money to poor villagers. In those days, the Great North Road went through Sherwood Forest. Robin Hood's men often stopped rich men in the forest and took their money. Sometimes Prince John's men also used the road, so Robin Hood robbed him too. The forest is on your land, said Prince John to the sheriff. Why don't you catch and kill this robber? It is not easy, answered the sheriff. The village people don't want to tell me much. They say only that the robbers live in or near Sherwood Forest. But they know more than they say. I have a plan to learn more about this man, Robin Hood. What is your plan? Asked the prince. It is this, answered the sheriff. Robin of Locksley lives near Sherwood Forest. Tonight there is going to be a great party at Locksley House. I know that Fitzooth will invite the village people on his land. So I will send one of my men. He can wear village clothes and ask questions about good Robin Hood, the people's friends. When I know more about this Robin, I can catch him. The sheriff's man turned a villager's neck to him. I often hear the name Robin Hood, he said. Who is he? Does he live near here? The man laughed. Don't you know, friend? Robin Hood is Robin Hood. The sheriff's man quickly left Locksley House and went to his lord. This is better than I hoped, said the sheriff. Tomorrow Robin Fitzooth will marry Lady Marian at St. Mary's Abbey. But my men will stop him and bring him to me. Prince John will kill him and give me Fitzooth money and lands. Lady Marian's family is also rich. She will not marry Robin, so I will marry her. Yes, tomorrow will be a great day for me. Chapter 3 at St. Mary's Abbey. At 10 o'clock the next morning, Robin Fitzooth and Lady Marian stood in front of the abode at St. Mary's Abbey. Lady Marian was some years younger than Robin and very lovely. She wore a white dress, and her long hair was the color of the forest trees in autumn. It was the sheriff of Nottingham. Behind the sheriff were 20 men with bows and arrows. My lord abode, called the sheriff loudly. This man has to come with me. He is the robber, Robin Hood. Then he turned to his men. Where are you waiting? He asked. Take him. Yes, I'm Robin Hood, answered Robin. But you will not take me. Look carefully around the crowd. Sheriff, do you not see my man? The sheriff looked at so dirty or more tall, stronger man. The abbot was angry and afraid. What are you doing? He shouted. Will you fight in a court? This man has to come with me, said the sheriff again. Give me your sword, Robin Hood, and come quickly. The good abbot does not want you to fight. Robin walked slowly to the sheriff. Here you are, my lord, he said, and hit the sheriff hard on the head with the stock of his sword. The sheriff fell back. Outside, everybody outside, shouted Robin. His men pushed the sheriff's men back through the court door. A great fight began outside the abbey. Robin spoke quickly to Marian. We can fight and win today, he sighed. But no, the sheriff knows my name, and I cannot go back to Locksley House. Wait for me, my love. King Richard will come back to England. He will hear about the greedy sheriff and his friends. But no, I will be Robin Hood of Sherwood Forest and not Robin of Locksley. I will never hurt a woman, a child, or a poor man. But rich and greedy men will be afraid to walk near my forest home. Chapter 4 The King's Deer. After the fight in the Abbey, the sheriff of Nottingham asked Prince John for Robin Fitzooth's lands. The prince sold them to him for a lot of money in gold. The greedy sheriff, of course, wanted to get the money back again as fast as possible. So his poor villagers had to pay the sheriff more money than before. The villagers on Robin's land also had to pay. Their new lord, the sheriff, was a very hard man. Autumn went and winter came. One cold but sunny day in January, a man came slowly over the Great North Road on an old horse. The snow on the forest trees shone in the winter sunshine. But the man did not look at the forest. He looked only at the road in front of him. Will Scarlet came out of the forest and stood in the middle of the road. The man looked up. Who are you? He asked. My name is Will Scarlet, sighed Will. And I'm Robin Hood's man. Are you afraid? No, I'm not afraid, said the man. I know that Robin Hood helps poor people, but he cannot help me. Will Scarlet Look. So Will Scarlet took the man to Robin Hood first. They gave him food and drink. He was very hungry. You eat well in your forest home, said the man. You eat as well as the king, perhaps better. Thank you for this good food. Then he stopped up. Wait, said Robin. Can you buy us something for your dinner? With a little gold I can help many poor families. The man did not answer for some time. Then he said, I have gold in my bags, 600 pounds, but I cannot give it to you. I'm going to St. Mary's Bay. This money is for the abbot. This is a lot of money, said Will, and the church has too much gold. This is my problem, said the man. The abbot wants more, 500 pounds more, and I cannot buy him this year. Perhaps he will wait another year, but I think not. I think that he will ask for my lands and my home too. Yes, said Robin. The abbot is a greedy man. Tell us your name, friends, and tell us your stories too. Perhaps we can help. So the man told his story. His name was Richard of Lee, and his son killed a man in a fight. The man died, and the sheriff of Nottingham took the boy away. The sheriff, said Robin. Another greedy man. Did he ask for money? You know him well, answered Richard of Lee. He said, Buy me 1,000 pounds, or your son will die. I'm not a rich man, but the abbot of St. Mary's paid the money for me. This happened last year. Now I have to pay the abbot. Sir Richard of Lee comes back to the forest. The next day, Sir Richard arrived. Robin, my good friends, he said, I have your money, and I'm also bringing 100 arrows for you and your men. My wife and her friends met them. You are a good man, Robin answered. We are very happy about the arrows, but I will not take your gold. The abbot took the money last year, and yesterday the church gave it back to me. He told Sir Richard about the two churchmen and the bags of gold under their clothes. No, said Robin, I would like to give you and your lady something. I would like to give your wife this beautiful white horse, and for you I have some fine clothes. The two churchmen arrived at the abbey later the next day and also told their story. The abbot was very angry. Robin is low again now, he said, but one day the sheriff or I will kill him for this. Chapter 9, Robin Hood and the Gold Arrow. Every day, the sheriff man brought new stories about Robin Hood. Prince John heard the stories too. This man Robin Hood only has 50 men, he said to the sheriff. You have 500 men, but you cannot catch him. People are looking at you. What are you going to do? I have another plan, my lord, said the sheriff. I will have a contest with bows and arrows. The winner will get a gold arrow. I know that Robin Hood will come. Everybody says that he is the best bowman in England. He will win the contest and take the gold arrow. Then I will take him. Robin and his men heard about the contest. The sheriff was right. They want to go. You will have to stay at home, Robin, laughed Little John. We want to win, and we are better than the sheriff man, but you are a better bowman than all of us. Be careful, Robin, said Marian. The sheriff is a dangerous man. He knows that you will go. He only wants to find you and kill you. I know that, said Robin. This is fine adventure. I will win the contest, but the sheriff won't catch me. Then I will come too, said Marian. I will wear boy clothes again and my boy's hat. The sheriff will not know me, and I will play in the contest. Perhaps I will win the gold arrow, not you. One day of the contest, some people played and other people watched. 100 of the sheriff men were there too. The winner of the contest will be Robin Hood, the sheriff told his men. He will come to take the gold arrow from me. Then you can take him, but do not kill him. Prince John wants to meet him first. The contest began. One man was the best. That man is Robin Hood, told the sheriff. People say he is clever, but we will catch him easily. The big man with him is Little John, and the fat man is Freytag. We will take them too. "But who is the boy? He's very good with a bow and arrow too." The contest finished and Robin Hood was the winner. He went to the sheriff and smiled. "There is mine, I think," he said. The sheriff smiled quickly and gave him the gold arrow. The Robin turned away. "Take him no," shouted the sheriff to his men. But 20 of Robin's men took off their hoods and moved behind Robin. A great sword fight began. Robin's men and the sheriff fought for a long time. Marian fought too this time, and she fought well. Many of the sheriff's men died that day. The sheriff was very angry. "Where are Prince John's men?" he shouted. "They are late, and Robin Hood is whining." The Prince John arrived with 50 men on horse. "They are too many," cried Robin to his men. "And they are on horse. Get back to the forest. Marian, come!" Then Will Scarlet called out, "Robin, Marian, they hurt Little John." "Don't wait for me," said Little John. "It is my leg. I cannot walk. Go, go." "Never," said Robin. With Will and Marian's help, he put Little John on his back and ran to the forest road. Suddenly, a man arrived on a white horse. It was Richard of Lee. "Quick, Robin, put Little John on the horse and follow me. The sheriff and his men will not look for you in my home." So, Richard helped his friends Robin, Marian, Little John, and Will Scarlet. They stayed at Sir Richard's house that night. Robin told Sir Richard and his wife about the contest and about other adventures in the forest. "You have many adventures, my lady," and Sir Richard's wife to Marian. "But you live dangerously. You cannot go home or visit your father. How will these adventures end? When will you leave the forest?" "One day, King Richard will come home," answered Marian. "Then life will be better for poor people, and Robin and I will go home." The Tall Friar. People loved King Richard because he was a brave man and a good king. But his brother, Prince John, only wanted to be king and to be rich. People hated him. When King Richard was in England, the prince and other important Norman lords had to listen to their king. They could not take land and money from weaker men. But Richard fought in Jerusalem for many years. When the king was away, Prince John and his friends were greedy and unkeen. Then one day the prince got a letter from the sheriff of Nottingham. "My lord prince," wrote the sheriff, "the people are saying that your brother Richard is here in the north. They say he's going from town to town and asking questions about me and about you. We will have to be very careful." "So," thought the prince, "Richard is in England again? Why isn't he dead? And why didn't he come here to London? What stories about me he listening to? I think I too will go to Nottingham and visit my friend the sheriff. Perhaps he can tell me more." So the prince took the Great North Road to the sheriff's house. 100 strong men went with him. They took the road through Sherwood Forest, and there they met a churchman. The man was very tall and strong, and he wore a great hood over his face. The tall man moved out of the way of the horse. He looked back at Prince John and his men for some minutes. Then he left the road and walked quickly into the forest. The tall man walked for a long time. Evening came. Then he heard something up in the trees. "Good evening, brother. Why are you walking in the forest? Is nobody with you? Are you not afraid?" The tall man laughed. "Another person asked me the question. I'm not afraid. I'm looking for Robin Hood." Will Scarlet jumped down lightly from the tree. "Then I will take you to him," he said. When they arrived in the middle of the forest, Robin's men were there. There was a good food and the tables again. "Robin," called Will, "this good friar wants to meet you." "We want to meet him too," said Robin. "We will eat with rich men, but we ask them to pay for their dinner. Poor people pay us with their stories. What is your story, friends? Why do you want to meet me?" This is my story," said the friar. "I left England with King Richard. Now the king is in England again, and I come too." The Last Adventure. After his visit to Sherwood Forest, King Richard went back to London. Robin and his men left the forest. Will Scarlet went to London with the king, but Little John stayed with Robin and Marian at Locksley House. One day, 2 years later, Robin visited his old friend, Freitag. They talked for a long time about their adventure. I eat too well now, Robin, said the friar. I am too fat and I cannot fight. People said that King Richard is ill. I hope that he will live for a long time. I hope that John will never be king. I wouldn't like to sleep on a hard bed in the forest again. One day while home, Robin walked slowly and talked about Freitag's word. Then he heard the noise of horse feet on the road and looked up. It was the sheriff and his men. Robin Fitzooth, called the sheriff. I have here a letter from the king. It said that you will come with me. From King Richard, asked Robin. Why does the king send you? He knows that we are not friends. The sheriff came nearer, but not too near. He was very afraid of Robin. Not King Richard, he answered. Richard is dead. I'm talking about King John. Take him then. Robin pulled out his sword and began to fight. At the same time, he moved slowly away from the road to the forest. There were too many men. He couldn't win. He had cuts on his right arms, and the arm hurt very badly. When he got to the forest, he ran. He could find his way through forest very well, and the sheriff man lost him. Robin went through the forest to St. Maria's Bay. In front of the bay, he fell to the ground. There, the abbot's found him. Robin woke up. There was nobody in the room. He was very weak and couldn't move from the bed. Then he heard a friend. I am coming, Robin, called Little John. Where are you? Here, I'm here, said Robin weakly. Little John broke open the door. Robin spoke very slowly. Little John, help me one last time. Carry me to the window. Good. Now give me your bow. Little John helped Robin to put an arrow in the bow. They pulled. The arrow flew a long way into the forest. Take me to that place and put me in the ground there, said Robin. There is a place in the forest near the bay. There you can find this word. Finish. This is my story about Robin Hood. If I have some mistake about my pronunciation of my language, please forgive me and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.